If you win, you manifested it. Fantastic. If you lose, you would have spent so much time imagining it that you're really going to want it. And because you're really going to want it in your mind, you're going to be more motivated to work hard than ever before. Most of you do not use your mind for what it's for. You've forgotten how to imagine things. You cannot close your eyes and vividly imagine. You can't give yourself goosebumps. You can't evoke an emotion in yourself anymore. This is an hey-hold skill that humans had very recently up until social media. You should be able to close your eyes and imagine the life you want to live so viscerally, to the point where you can taste it, so that this reality, the one outside of your mind, feels like nothing but a prelude, a ramp that allows you to get where you want to go. The mind is that powerful. If you ask any champion of anything, they always envision themselves as champion all of the time. And the reason they do that is, 1, so hey, feel confident. But 2, so that if they don't become champion, they're more angry and more motivated for the next attempt to ensure that they do become champion. So that's the mentality and the mindset you have to have. Your mind is your number one ally in all things. A lot of you have been sabotaged internally by your own mind. Your own psyche is working against you. When you have negative thoughts that prevent you from being the best version of yourself, you should understand that your mind is attempting to betray you. And you should feel disgust because you have enough enemies. There are enough people in that opposing trench trying to destroy you. If you're watching this and listening to this right now, I promise you, if I were to give a button to most humans on this planet, if I were to go up to an average man, a 25-year-old man of average income anywhere in the world, and say, if you press this button, this guy is going to die. And I'll show a picture of you holding your dog, cuddling, being a nice little boy, whatever you're doing. I'll make you look sweet and innocent. Then I'll say, if you press this button, this guy dies, but you get $100 million. You do understand that 99.9% of people will press that button, right? And they'll take that $100 million without remorse. They won't really think about you very much. And if they do, they'll distract themselves with a Lamborghini and everything else money can buy. That's it. They won't care about you. There's enough people in the opposing trench who are prepared to destroy you for self-interest, that the idea of you not having every single part of you on your own side is truthfully sad. You need to be in a better position than that. You cannot allow your own mind to betray you. Ever. It has to be 100% on your side all of the time. Once your mind is on your side, once every part of your psyche is on your team, that's when you can go and look for other teammates. You can expand your network of other people whose psyche is 100% on their side and who have a unified outlook on the world. Then you can go and get things done. But the idea of self-betrayal is something most of you are struggling with, and you didn't even realize it. So as a thought experiment, I want you to actually think about it. How many times have you doubted yourself? How many times have you not felt like doing something you knew you were supposed to do? How many times has your mind tricked you into procrastination or laziness? How many times has your mind convinced you that it was okay to fail and lose even though you didn't try your best? How many times have you sought comfort in excuses? How many times have you betrayed yourself? Don't worry about your enemies attempting to crush you. That's another conversation. If you actually analyze most of your failures, you're going to see the majority of them come from self-sabotage. And once you're in a position where you never betray yourself, where your mind never lets you down, everything changes. My mind knew exactly what I had to do. I did not miss a single day of training. I did not lose my mind. I did not have a breakdown. I acted exactly as I was supposed to act. I was fully professional in all things. I got as much work done as I possibly could. I was extremely productive. I used every experience for what it was. My mind never betrayed me. If you look back on most of your failures, you're going to see that it was your own mind that betrayed you. It wasn't your enemies that tricked you. It wasn't your enemies that outmaneuvered you. It wasn't your enemies that outsmarted you. Most of you are not yet at a high enough level to even have enemies of that caliber. You were simply betraying yourself. And until you identify that pattern and make sure it becomes impossible, you're always going to lose against people who fully believe in themselves. One of the things that stupid people have, which sometimes makes them surprisingly successful, is irrational self-belief. And the smarter you are, sometimes the harder it is to irrationally believe in yourself. But if you're dumb enough, you can be arrogant enough to have complete confidence. You'll see some people become very successful and ask yourself, how is this idiot successful? Because they're so convinced they can win that they never even entertain the idea of failure. Their mind isn't advanced enough to create doubt. They only see opportunities. They don't spend all day analyzing reasons why they can't do something. They simply move, and movement beats hesitation every single time. If you're intelligent enough to self-reflect, then you need to do it in a way that creates feedback so you can constantly improve. But be very aware of the danger that comes from a mind that is not 100% on your side. My mind is 100% on my side in all ways. If I have to do something difficult, even if my body can't do it, my mind believes I can do it. And you'd be amazed how much of life, even in the physical realm, is mental. If you believe you can run a marathon, you can run a marathon. If you don't believe you can run a marathon, you can't run a marathon, because a marathon is hard. And by believing you can do it, by truly believing, you will push your body to a different level than if you don't believe. It's the same with making money. It's the same with building a business. It's the same with the gym. It's the same with dealing with mental struggles. Anxiety is self-betrayal. Panic is self-betrayal. Procrastination is self-betrayal. Laziness is self-betrayal. Lack of motivation is self-betrayal. Most of you, your biggest enemy on the planet today is yourself. You are the one destroying your own future because you don't have your own mind under control. And one of the craziest things about life is that your mind is one of the few things you can do. Truly can't control. You can't control very much else. You can only control your thoughts, your attitude, and your reactions. If you don't control your own mind, then you're going through life with control over nothing. You don't control your mind, which means by extension, you don't control your life. You don't control your future. You don't control your outcomes. You're simply reacting to everything that happens around you. You're an empty vessel drifting through life while other people shape the world. When you're in the trenches, there are people who quit. There are people who give up. There are people who spread fear. There are people who feel sorry for themselves. There are people who desperately search for an easy way out. And then there are people who say, "This is a test. The only way through this is to stay irrationally positive." You may not be able to control everything around you, but you can always control what you do next. You can take action. Action changes everything. I remember talking to someone who was upset because the price of Bitcoin had dropped. He was angry. He was worried. He was sitting there complaining about things he couldn't control. And I told him something strange. I told him to go buy groceries for an old lady. He laughed. He didn't understand. But that's exactly the problem. People don't understand how life works. You don't sit around complaining. You don't sit around waiting. You don't sit around hoping. You do something, anything, something positive, something productive, something useful. Maybe buying groceries for an old lady won't change the Bitcoin price. Probably not. But maybe it changes you. Maybe it changes your mindset. Maybe it teaches gratitude. Maybe it reminds you that money isn't everything. Maybe it puts you in a better emotional state. Maybe that emotional state helps you recognize an opportunity tomorrow that you would have missed today. You don't know. Life is concerning, connected in ways that aren't always visible. Positive actions create momentum. Momentum creates opportunities. Opportunities create outcomes. That's why action matters. That's why doing something is always better than doing nothing. Rain dances work, not because they magically create rain, but because they represent action. If you need rain, don't sit around complaining. Don't sit around feeling sorry for yourself. Don't sit around waiting for someone to save you. Rain dance, move, act, create energy. Perhaps someone sees your effort. Perhaps someone notices your struggle. Perhaps help arrives because you demonstrated initiative. Maybe the rain dance itself doesn't create rain, but it creates possibilities, and possibilities are everything. The average person spends their life waiting for motivation, waiting for confidence, waiting for luck, waiting for permission. Winners don't wait. Winners move. Even when they're uncertain, even when they're even when they don't have all the answers. They understand a fundamental truth. Raw action solves most problems. Raw action creates momentum. Raw action creates opportunity. Raw action creates confidence. The person complaining about his circumstances isn't prepared to rain dance. He's not prepared to take initiative. He's not prepared to do anything. And life doesn't reward that mentality. Life rewards effort. Life rewards courage. Life rewards people who attack problems instead of complaining about them. You have to go and get things. You have to show that you deserve them. Nothing great comes to people who sit around waiting. Everything great belongs to people who move first. The world belongs to action takers. The world belongs to people who refuse to sit still. The world belongs to people who decide that regardless of what happens, they are going to do something, because doing something always beats doing nothing. Every single time, raw action solves all. If you had that attitude, you wouldn't sit around staring at charts, praying for your circumstances to improve. You'd be doing something. Anything. You'd be learning, building, networking, training, creating, improving. That's how winners think. That's how successful people operate. People often say that wealthy individuals don't help enough, but the truth is that successful people look for signs of effort. They look for people who are trying. They look for people who are willing to fight for themselves. Because if you won't fight for yourself, why should anyone else fight for you? I want to see that you care. I want to see that you're willing to take responsibility. I want to see that you're willing to move before you're certain. That's the difference. I respect people who rain dance. I respect people who say, I don't know exactly what to do, but I'm going to do something. I don't have all the answers, but I'm going to take action. I don't know how this ends, but I'm going to keep moving forward. Because action itself is powerful. Action creates momentum. Momentum creates results. And men of honor do not allow the universe to decide everything for them. They attack life. They shape outcomes. They influence reality through effort. Many of you probably heard about opportunities years ago. Maybe it was Bitcoin. Maybe it was a business idea. Maybe it was a career path. Maybe it was a skill you could have learned. But you ignored it. Not because the opportunity wasn't there. Because you weren't paying attention. You weren't proactive. You didn't care enough to investigate. And now, years later, you look back and say, if someone had told me, if I had known, if I had started, number. Because if you were the kind of person who would have taken advantage of that opportunity back then, you'd be taking advantage of opportunities right now. The opportunities are still here. The world is still full of possibilities. The difference is not the opportunity. The difference is you. People love to romanticize missed chances. They love to imagine how successful they would have been if only circumstances had been different. But that's a lie. Because the habits you have today are the habits you would have had then. The mindset you have today is the mindset you would have had then. If you're refusing to act now, you would have refused to act then. That's the uncomfortable truth. You have chances right now. You have opportunities right now. You have time right now. You're alive. You're breathing. You're reading these words. That means you still have a chance. The average person wastes opportunity after opportunity, and then blames fate, blames luck, blames society, blames everyone except themselves. It's astonishing how difficult it is to make the average person move. The average person remains stuck. They stay exactly where they are. They tolerate situations they hate. They accept vests they don't want. And then they wonder why nothing changes. Nothing changes because they don't change. Some people are trapped by their own minds. Their biggest enemy isn't outside. Their biggest enemy is the voice inside their head. The voice that says, wait until tomorrow. Take it easy. You can start later. Maybe you're not good enough. Maybe it's impossible. That voice is poison. That voice destroys dreams. That voice destroys potential. That voice destroys futures. And unless you learn to dominate that voice, it will dominate you. My core principle is simple. Endless work. Endless attack. Endless perseverance. Because it's very difficult to defeat someone who never quits. It's very difficult to stop someone who keeps moving forward. It's very difficult to destroy someone who refuses to surrender. Perseverance is the key, people say. As long as you tried your best. The problem is that most people never actually try their best. Most people parade at 50%. Some operate at 30%. Very few ever discover what 100% feels like. But here's the secret. If you truly give 100%, you rarely lose. You might not achieve the exact outcome you wanted, but you gain something valuable every time. You gain strength. You gain discipline. You gain experience. You gain resilience. You gain wisdom. You become better. And becoming better is never a loss. It's impossible to regret giving your absolute best, because when you've truly given everything you had, there is peace. There is clarity. There is acceptance. You know you couldn't have done more. You know you left everything on the field. You know you honored your potential. That's a powerful feeling. The sting of failure comes from knowing you held back. The sting of failure comes from knowing you could have done more. The sting of failure comes from knowing you betrayed yourself. But when you've truly emptied the tank, there is no regret, only lessons. Only growth, only progress. Effort is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Just like lifting weights, you may not hit a personal record every day, but every hard workout makes you stronger. Every difficult challenge builds character. Every struggle develops resilience. Every setback teaches something valuable. That's why people who truly try never lose, because even when they don't get the outcome, they get the growth. And growth compounds, day after day, week after week, year after year, until eventually the person who never quits becomes unstoppable. The masculine essence of life is making things happen, not waiting, not hoping, not wishing, making things happen. Showing the universe that you're prepared to invest your energy into something meaningful. Showing life that you're willing to fight. Showing yourself that you're capable of more. The world rewards effort. The world rewards courage. The world rewards perseverance. You separate yourself from the crowd through action. Most people don't know how to try anymore. Most people have forgotten what genuine effort looks like, but we know better. We know how to push. We know how to endure. We know how to keep going when everyone else stops. And that's why we win. Not because we're lucky. Not because we're special. Not because life is fair. We win because we refuse to stop. We win because we refuse to betray ourselves. We win because our minds are on our side. We win because every day we wake up and choose effort. Every single day. No excuses. No hesitation. No surrender. Just relentless forward movement. Because in the end, the people who achieve extraordinary things are not always the smartest. They're not always the most talented. They're not always the most gifted. They're simply the ones who stayed in the fight the longest. The ones who kept going. The ones who refused to quit. The ones who mastered our minds. And once you master your mind, you master your life.